What do you got to eat? Here, guys. Ooh. What's this say? I don't know. What's that say? I know, but I'm not gonna tell. I think it says it's good.
Conjecture Hoops contains all the presumptions, assumptions, and off-the-wall postulations a growing kid needs. Conjecture Hoops, a big bowl of bullshit. Saturday morning cartoons.
Now at night time.
Mostly conjecture based on little knowledge.
Please welcome Max Hedgerow, Dell, Aria Blackness, and your most gracious host, Ben motherfucking Jackson. Applause. Applause. Applause.
Assumptions, and off-the-wall postulations a growing boy needs.
Now at night time.
Now at night time. I think I speak for all of us when I say that the spirit that this character embodies speaks to a very deep part of ourselves that's still an 8-year-old boy.
Yes. Precisely.
Right?
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah,
So,
the first time I read this was I was pretty young. I was in single digits, I think, and I was a fan.
Explains a lot.
Yes, yes, I'm sure it does.
Hell of a lot.
Was it a case of your mom saying, "Oh, it's a comic. You'll like this"?
Well, I was a fan of the Biz before I even knew I was a fan of the Biz, and I had one issue of this book and off a friend, and I used to sit in my living room and like copy the images like vigorously, and then obviously later on I got into slaying and all that, and I still, because I don't really read a lot and I'm a lazy bastard, I never took on the sort of author or the artist information, so I didn't know that was the Biz either. But what a fucking great artist. He manages to surf the line between Frank Frazetta and a cartoon, and don't know how he does it. But it fits this story perfectly.
yes.
Yeah.
Because it's like surreal.
Yeah, surreal and punky.
It's like surreal in the way that Sam Keith is, but it's like fucking punk rock in a way that Sam Keith never was.
Yeah. And
it's really British as well, because there's like those reactions the characters do where it'll suddenly turn really cartoony and it's like something out of the Beano suddenly in the middle of the superhero comic.
Yeah.
What's with those penguins?
The rhyming penguins.
Yeah.
The penguins, like the Angry Birds, 20 years ago, 20 years before the Angry Birds, right? He should get some kind of credit for that.
Yeah, there's a lot in this book that I've seen in other stuff. It's basically a road movie, right? At least the first half is, and it reminds me a little bit of Any Which Way But Loose with Clint Eastwood, where he's traveling around with the orangutan, but he's got that biker gang sort of following him all the time. And it like, even though they're after him, it's almost like a separate story. Like they always have an accident and fuck up, but they never actually get what they want. And in this, Lobo has like a fan base of Hell's Angels space bike riders that are following him around space and trying to do a favor for him. They're absolutely obsessed with him, and they end up dying horribly. And it's pretty. I mean, you sort of figure out that Lobo either doesn't know about them at all, certainly doesn't give a shit about them. So their story really is comedically inconsequential. It's just happening in the background. It's great.
Yeah, it was a really funny book.
Yes.
I find myself laughing at it.
Funny and violent, and it goes a bit Bill and Ted. Yeah. Like Lobo goes to heaven, and he gets kicked out of heaven, and he goes to hell, and then the hell can't manage him, and he causes such a stink in the afterlife that he gets sent back.
It's like
he kicks his own way out of heaven.
He does, yeah.
He's too hard to die.
Yeah.
It's almost funny for the same reason that like a movie like Little Nicky is funny, because it's like introducing these like serious metaphysical topics, or like Dogma, right? Remember that movie?
Yeah.
We're introducing these like serious metaphysical topics of like the afterlife and God and stuff like this, and just like making it into a Looney Tunes kind of level of reality, right?
Right. And they sort of,
that's all, folks.
Yeah, they sort of push past, like aesthetically, they sort of push past that into like the horrific. There's one thing I noticed that I don't remember noticing the first couple of times that I found really funny when I was just boning up for the show. The guy in heaven that's getting super stressed out by Lobo's, and he's constantly doing this on his head.
Yeah.
And he gets like a lump, and then the lump turns into like
his
a long
face starts
nipple.
to transform.
Yeah, and by the end of the book, he's got like a tumor growing off the side of his face because he's just so stressed.
That's like I don't know if you know those Kenny Everett shows from like the 80s where he'll come on with like these huge hands, but every time the camera angle changes, the hands or the hat just grows and grows and grows. They had this one where he was doing Mick Jagger, and the lips would just keep on growing until the lips were bigger than Mick Jagger. And that's exactly like the guy with the I'm not an animal, I am a human being. That guy.
Very spitting image. So you all enjoyed it then, the ones that didn't read it, hadn't read it before?
I did, but I wouldn't give it to my grandchildren if I had any.
Well,
really,
I would.
Yeah, it's really famous, right, for that cover of Lobo's back where
he's
like
female.
Is there a penis in his elbow? So
Yes.
I'd seen, and it's funny that he was literally drawing penises on the side of that guy's head, and no one brought that up.
Dude, yes. There's one where it's got like a knob for a nose.
Yeah,
character. And I was like, I screenshotted it. Shall I share?
Yeah,
the
that,
viewers.
I don't remember what page that was.
I got it. What the fuck? Yeah, I like doing this. Right, okay. Yeah. Carry on talking amongst yourselves while I'm screenshotting.
Well, we just... We like...
No, I want to see the knob nose now. It's all just white.
Dude.
That's not it.
Dude.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking of a different
like
one,
penis.
though.
Like, what?
Yeah, I'm sure there's another one with it, and it's like
there's a long one, I remember.
Multiple knob noses.
Yeah.
They're very Terry Gilliam-esque, aren't they, these?
That one is, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's strange, right? Because that character is meant to be like a normal human. He's not meant to have this tiny little body.
Lip Jagger. Nice.
Yeah, I saw an interview with the Biz when with Simon Bisley talking about making this book, and he said they would give him pages of the script, and then he would give him the pages of illustrations back, and then they'd be like, "Oh, fucking hell, give us the script," and then they'd have to change like part of the script to suit someone. So I think they took like a real free form approach to the book, which I think pays off because it's quite a tight story. But I mean, like the artwork, it comes off, even though it is precise, it comes off sort of loose.
Yeah, I got the feeling that it tightened up in the second half.
Right.
Like
think
the
the
first
art
half
too, right?
was kind of like looser.
Yeah,
and then by the end, it seemed a lot different to me.
Yeah, I would say the same about the artwork. I think as soon as you get to chapter 2, the artwork, it just seems there's more going on in the work.
More of it seems clearly defined, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's like that Bisley surreal, like no regard for fucking biology or proportions. Like when he does that, it's like a superpower, you know?
Right.
It's not every page. It's not every panel.
Biz, he's just got. I mean, he's known in the sort of comic art industry just having fucking balls of steel when it comes to like his representations of areas and characters. Because Frank Frazetta has a certain way of painting things where it looks like it's extremely detailed, but he actually only details very small parts of the image that draw your eye because he's just an artistic genius. And Bisley sort of replicates that in just his pencils and inking. Like he's on a spaceship or something, and he'll just draw a few circuits here and there, and you just in your brain makes sense of it all. But if you actually analyze like the imagery, it's just a line and then a box in the background and then nothing. But he's quite happy to rely on the human psyche to make up its own mind about what's going on instead of drawing every meticulous detail, which is something I'm trying to incorporate into my work as well. It's difficult, man.
I think you can see it.
Yeah.
I think it shows in your work.
There's something interesting as well. There's panels in the story amongst some beautiful artwork that are either Bisley can't be asked to draw that panel or it's a time crunch. The way
I noticed like this one
fingers or faces, it's so like that middle one there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is exactly why I pasted this, because I thought to myself, like I remember Bisley. Yeah, it's ages since I've seen any of his work. I got to admit. Yeah. And I've never seen Lobo before, but this is what when I think of Simon Bisley, this is what I think of. Yeah,
the painted stuff. Yeah,
absolutely, it's a beautiful artwork. And then I was reading through this, and I was thinking, what the?
See, I used to have this thing when I was a kid, like reading a comic book, like the front cover of the book was always amazing, and then the internals don't necessarily represent the cover. And I always wanted to make a book that you see the cover and then you flick through it, you're like, oh, it's all like this, which is what we're trying to do with Roken. But I've got a different sort of appreciation for this style. I think I really like it. I just think I don't know how he gets away with being so loose. It's just ace. It's just fucking cool, man. I just like it.
It's a very early 90s style.
Right.
It really reminds me of things like Tank Girl.
Right.
Animation like Bill and Beavis and Butthead.
You're right.
It's like Ben was saying, it takes me back to being 11 years old reading this, even though I never read this specifically.
Right.
I was just going to say it's a very punk rock approach to artwork.
Yeah, I think this kind of stuff you were talking about before, where you're saying, just a few loose lines as background, as like circuitry, etc., or a style of spaceship, and you just, to be honest, you don't really notice it so much because you're not concentrating on the background anyway. You're concentrating on this stuff, so that's all superfluous, really.
Right.
I gotta be honest, I don't remember anything like this. It's just like totally flat colors so I don't think so different as I remember it.
Right. So there's he didn't color this. He just did the inks. And a lot of reviews on the book, they always say, if anything, the artistic side of the book suffers from the fact that Bisley didn't color it himself.
But can you imagine the time constraints on that?
Right. But I love the flat color on this. I don't. I just think it works.
Yeah,
well.
Definitely works.
Panel,
I think if he works into that with more detail, I think it would take away from.
Leave it on that panel. Yeah, like look at that. That looks like some Art Nouveau shit. That looks like a psychedelic poster, right?
Right. Exactly why I posted it. Why I clipped this, because I thought to myself, that's, I don't know, right from the 60s. You can look at some old 1960s like science fiction novel.
Yeah, it's almost.
And they would have that kind of art on the cover.
Right. It's almost Lichtensteinian, isn't it?
Yeah.
A punky Lichtenstein.
Yeah.
Cool. It's there's another weird connection made here is that there's a lot of we mentioned last week She-Hulk, right?
Right.
And there is a lot of similarities between Animal Man, Lobo, and She-Hulk.
Arya's strategy is to just say whatever book we talk about. This reminds me of She-Hulk every week. So that
Hey,
it
Aria,
gets,
does this remind you of She-Hulk?
So that we're thinking about She-Hulk. No,
When,
I'm just
when we
kidding,
do
Arya.
She-Hulk, I'm looking forward to seeing who it reminds him of. This book reminds me of She-Hulk.
Okay.
Sorry, Arya. carry on.
Sorry, Arya.
What do they have in common?
There's like almost the exact same story. They're hanging out at a space diner, and they've got these bad guys like slowly chasing them, basically.
Right.
Oh,
and the inception of this version of Lobo, Animal Man, and Swamp Thing. Like I said, the last 3 reviews we've done, they've all been examples of artists and writers that have taken a previous dead sort of character and then totally revitalized him. So if you look at what Lobo was like before this, hey Phil, how you doing?
Yo, what's up? Sorry I'm late, guys.
No, that's okay.
Hey, no worries.
Hey, Phil.
Lobo was way more tame, completely different before Bisley got his hands on him. So this was like a revolution, really, in that sort of punk rock approach to creating a character, and it worked exceptionally well. And he made himself as Lobo as well. Like if you go back into the 80s and look at Simon Bisley, that's him.
I have no idea what he looks like.
He looks like that.
Does he really?
He's red eyes.
He's got he's got red eyes and 2 bullets stuck in his head. But
I've only seen a picture of him recently. He certainly doesn't look like that now.
No, he doesn't now. But at the time, he had really long hair, and he was
the bullet wounds have healed, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, who can name the cartoon reference here? Let's see if any of the Brits can, because I'm sure the
I hate
Americans
feces to pieces.
I hate feces to pieces.
Yeah, but you got to do the voice as well. I hate feces to pieces.
What the fuck is that?
Was that Ed Wynn?
Snagglepuss.
Oh, Snagglepuss?
That's
Yes,
Snagglepuss?
It was I hate Mises to pieces.
Oh,
Wasn't it
right.
Snagglepuss, or am I thinking of the wrong one character?
I don't know, dude. Let's go with Snagglepuss, man. I feel like Snagglepuss doesn't get enough attention anyway.
Next week,
Not in the
Snagglepuss.
past 30 years.
Okay, but Phil's actually met Simon Bisley, so he can
Right.
tell us how much he looks like this
We're
panel.
not worthy. We're not worthy.
I've got a good picture of him on Google.
Yeah, I'm pulling up a bunch of them.
That is
cool.
that is the photo of Phil and Bisley.
I have a picture of I do have a pic with him.
Yeah.
pull it up.
Oh, you do? Cool.
Oh yeah, pull that up, dude.
You
He's
watch
also gonna- He's gonna be at
Watching.
back in Chicago at the beginning of next month. He's gonna be at Fan Expo, so I'm gonna hang out with him again.
Oh, fantastic. He
Oh,
looks
yeah,
like,
so,
I've seen interviews with him, man. He looks like the sort of guy that says exactly what he thinks.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah.
He's,
I don't know if you guys know Kayla, who's a big backer and she's a part of Death Curse Comics. She brought her Lost Pages book for him to sign, and he's like, just he didn't want to do an interview because I imagine that he's very a very real person, and he could say he just says what he wants, but he's like, yeah, I love these characters because they're high tea. He literally said they're toxically masculine, and that's what we need. You know,
right.
I got some pictures up. Let me see if I can share this.
Yeah, man. I think masculinity is not toxic enough.
Nowadays, sure.
I'm out here trying to make that toxic.
He plays bass too. He plays like death metal bass. So that was him when I think he was working on like the Slain stuff. He looked like a male model with his hair.
How old was he in the?
Oh God, yeah.
How
What's
old
that?
is that? Like 20?
Maybe he must. Yeah, must.
Well, that's got to be early 90s.
Yeah, early 90s, late
Fabio,
80s.
the model, right?
Yeah.
That hair.
The one that got hit in the face with a seagull.
And then I know he's into like motorcycles, and he got into bodybuilding for a bit while he was doing the Lobo stuff. So I think
that's why his
he was
fucking biceps still look like that.
yeah. The art reflecting reality,
Yeah. I find a lot of artists do that though. They draw themselves into characters. I assume it's because when you draw faces off the cuff, it's because you're the one that you're most used to.
Yeah.
But he drew Slain, pretty much drew Slain as himself as well. But every sort of version of Slain tends to look like the artist that that's working on them at the time.
Thing is, if you're working with a mirror, then of course it's going to look like you. It's going to end up looking like you. If you're like, I need this kind of expression, and you're doing this in a mirror, it's going to end up looking like you.
Right, but I think you also, I mean, this might just be me. Yeah, if I'm just drawing a face off the cuff, I'll gravitate towards the sorts of facial features that I have. So I always draw them with like a big chin and a fat nose. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can't help it.
Here's the biz from a while back. This is when I met him.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Whoa.
But he's got more gray now. So yeah, you got this. This is
wow, dude.
What a cute.
That's the same guy.
Yeah, where's
That's
the
why,
It's Judge Michael.
that's why Lobo has so much hair, though, dude. Like there was a time when he was carrying a mane around, bro. So he knows what that feels like.
Oh, well, what did he call himself in Lobo? The main man.
The main man. That's right.
The main
man.
But
Max, you were talking about how, the transformation of Lobo, how he was kind of a dead character when it was just Giffen. I think, who was the guy who drew Justice League International? McGuire. When they were doing him, he had more of a like Gene Simmons hair, like old, like now Gene Simmons, where it's just like a poofy,
like a bob.
Yeah. And then when Bisley got on him, he gave him the long, crazy, wild hair.
Right.
Yeah. And, got that character into stardom in the 90s.
Right.
Everywhere.
And he's a great character. They tried to change him not within the last 10 years, didn't they? And they sort of youthed him and made him sort of boy bandy. Remember, there's a bit of a backlash to it because I imagine the character's got a certain hardcore following, like, and they didn't appreciate it because
it's a funny story.
He's heavy metal, isn't he?
Oh yeah, there's a funny story to that because when they relaunched the character, revamped him in the New 52,
that was it.
They were looking for concept art for the character, so they got Kenneth Rocafort to do concepts for Lobo. And I talked to Kenneth about this. He's a big Bisley fan. He loves the character Lobo. So he did some, like, they were looking for something that would give Lobo a new twist. So he did some really cool concepts where it's like samurai Lobo and, he still has the muscle and stuff. And they kept sending it back, being like, no, we don't like this. We want something different. We want something different. And then he did the Lobo that everybody hated. And he's like, I regret it so much. Like, he didn't like it. He just threw it in as another example of what the character could be. And they went with it, which is
nightmare as an artist.
Yeah. He went and apologized to Bisley. Personally, he's like, I did that. He's like, you bastard. But look at this. He did, this is still new, cool. It's a different take, but he's still got the muscles, has the hard edge. He's got the cigar. Even this one's more like a Ronin type.
Right.
Some of these look like orcs or something. Like.
Yeah, it's true. But then they went with this one. Even I think this is kind of that was one of them. So he's like totally different. They retcon.
That's completely wrong. Like people don't understand that characters aren't just like their visual representation. Like these are our gods, right? Like the age of Zeus and Poseidon and Hades is over. Okay. This is the new fucking, and he doesn't fit with any particular one of them. But this is the new rage of the 8-year-old boy, God, right? Mm-hmm. And so you can't fuck with that. So like however you change the way he looks, he still has to embody that concept. Like we were talking about this last week. Like you can't just make Thor a female, right? Like it's not. It's the wrong expression of an eternal.
He's a very masculine. Thor is a very masculine sort of character, right?
Right.
And he's a god, right?
Yeah.
That means unchanging.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, but
how long did that design run for?
It probably enough to make the story into they have a collected trade of it, I think. So more, I probably around 20 issues. It's funny. I think Ethan did a fill-in issue for this Lobo. I know he did a cover. But yeah, that was during the time where they were just throwing kind of like fill-in stuff in the New 52. But
I'm just trying to think.
Yeah.
If you're an artist, Phil, if you were given the reins to redesign Lobo, what would you do?
I mean, I would just leave it.
No. No. You can't say leave.
You got to redesign him.
Yeah, you have to redesign him.
Think about fitting him into the world of Lost Pages or something. What would he look like there?
I really like what Donald DeLay did with his character Brutus, because his character is Lobo, but he's a greaser. I've seen that done in other. There's a tabletop game called Sentinels of the Multiverse, and they have a Lobo type character, but he's thinner, but he's a greaser. And instead of the space bike, he's got like this hot rod space car. Really cool. I think that take on the character would be cool. You still keep him masculine and a womanizer and stuff like that, because that's the character. But maybe modernize him or retroize him, and then that aspect to it.
Interesting.
I could see you and your brother tweaking like some kind of more modern Lobo, like fitting into modern times or something.
Yeah. Because the thing about me is I'm not into outer space stories, and that stuff. But Lobo is someone that kind of transcends that to me, because even though he's going around outer space, he's never on like an orbiting spaceship or anything. He goes down and is grounded on planets, dealing with.
Yeah, he's on the planet. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
People.
We were saying earlier that the especially the first half of the book, like it's basically just a road movie, right? Like regardless of the fact that he's in space, it could just be traveling through the desert on a massive motorbike. It'd still work.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's what I think makes that story so good. Yeah,
I think I'd give him a massive beard. I want to give him a massive beard and go full on death metal with it.
We've never seen that.
Has anyone seen the only live action rendering of Lobo to date?
Yeah, was that on the Flash?
No, it was on Krypton. Did anyone?
Yeah,
Krypton. Anyone remember Krypton series?
I caught it. Yeah,
I've pulled it up here.
Show me.
Can you give me?
Show me Krypton.
I haven't done this before. Can you see that?
No. Did you click on the share?
How do I do this? Oh, share. Sorry.
Oh, fuck.
Share.
Bargain bin. Let's see what crowd is in. His hair. He's old man, but please don't stare.
Don't get stressed, Buddha, because you just won't be in. You won't know how to do it.
You gotta click on share.
Don't get stressed out, man. With computer skills.
Oh, we got some. Let's catch up. Let's catch up on the comments, yo.
Yeah, do it.
Thor is male.
All right, am I doing it now?
Fuck yeah.
No, not
Thor
yet.
is male god, and so is Lobo, dude.
Yeah.
Hail Machat. Yeah, there's your screen. All right, we'll do the rest of the comments in a bit here then.
All right, switch over to that Krypton.
Right, you've got the wrong tab open.
You're in the show.
You're not seeing
the
that.
tab that you want
I
to
can see it. Yeah, I can see you. Yeah.
Because you have one monitor.
I want to see Lobo.
I don't know what's happening.
I
Sorry.
will do comment.
That was the first time I've ever attempted that. I'm gone.
I see you've copied my beard.
Here you go.
Ha, 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 ha.
I'll pull it up.
Metal Movies says that it was 20 issues, but how many issues was the book? The Portrait of a Bastich. That was like, what, like
right?
8? Yeah, 8.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
4
a
and
pretty-
4.
4 and 4.
Because like 100 pages is 4 issues, right? And that was 200.
It was nice. The best laugh I got out of the whole book was right at the end of the first half, and he just snaps her neck. And I thought, oh, so all that story was for nothing then.
Right. Yeah. So Portrait of a Bastich is a collection of, is it 2
That's
stories?
my favorite.
Yeah, 2 stories.
So
Can you see this?
the last, oh yeah, so there's him and Krypton.
Oh, I don't
Oh,
like
am I
that
doing
at
that?
all.
That's
It's like
too
a punky General Zod.
That's like
Yeah, I
a
don't
bad
think it looks
casting.
great. Yeah. Looks like they've gone for the Jason Momoa thing.
Yeah. Well,
The-
it's interesting, the dreadlocks, right? So the first time we see Lobo with dreadlocks is in, what's it called? Lobo Unchained, which was the Alex Horley book. So, which is a great story. I think it's Alan Grant and Alex Horley. And Horley's got a beautiful painted style as well. Like, he's one of the top Lobo artists, I think, right under Bisley. But that book's great, and he gave him dreadlocks. That story's about him getting screwed over by a woman that he falls for, and he kind of loses his mojo because she steals his hook, and that's hilarious. It has ambush bugs in it too. It's very funny.
I'm starting to
give
get
him,
a flavor for what Lobo stories are like, what sort of veins they tend to run in. That sounds really interesting. I'm gonna have to read that.
Yeah, that one's
Yeah.
really good. But
So
in modern day, they've really taken the dreadlocks and ran with it. Like we've seen him had dreads in, I think that 52 series. It was just called 52 when he comes back, and and when he's in video games too, like in Justice, he had dreadlocks.
I always assumed that his accent was like a Cockney. It was an English Cockney. And
Yeah,
it's,
that's
give
because
him an
Bisley.
American accent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mind you, Bisley, that second story in Bastich, it was a bit of a comment on the Brits in World War II, wasn't it? Like, kind of a bit of Brit bashing going on there, which is kind of funny, seeing as Bisley's a bit of a Brit himself.
Yeah, I was thinking, why are you noticing this, dude?
Alan Grant is British too, is he not? He was the
Right.
Judge
Yeah,
Dredd
definitely.
writer.
Oh
And,
yeah, well that's right. Yeah, he's the writer, isn't he? Yeah.
and Giffen, who they all collabed with, and he's the creator of Lobo, he's American. So I think the way they would work is really interesting. So a lot of the greatness, not to take anything away from Bisley, because I'm simp for Bisley constantly, but a lot of the greatness in the collaboration is Giffen would do the layouts for these pages. Bisley would then, go over them and make them his own, add little animals and stuff. That's why in a lot of these, when he's flying through space, we'll see those space penguins flying around. We'll see the big gorillas because Simon loves animals. Yeah. And so in that fact, then they would, after Simon would finish a page, they would have to send it to Grant again, and he would add extra dialogue that he didn't plan to some of those animals. And I'm sure that's how Dog came to be when they did the paramilitary Christmas special. Simon just threw in the dog.
Right. And he also did a great job drawing Lobo as a woman. Because I used to read that intensely when I was about.
Was it the arm that did it for
Yeah,
you?
yeah. It was a massive arm.
Hanging arm.
Yeah. Proportions just right. I like my women with one giant wanking arm.
You know, there's a subtext there.
Doesn't feel sub. Feels like it's right on the top.
Like Steffi Graf.
If you share
One
this,
giant arm.
share this up. I'll pull this up for a second. This is actually the first appearance in a live action, but it's a fan film. I don't know if you guys seen this.
No.
On my share screen right here. So
What is this?
So
Very
this is, you could find it on YouTube. It's probably like a 30-minute fan-made film, and it's based on the paramilitary Christmas special. It's Lobo going to kill Santa Claus.
Brilliant.
And the actor who plays Lobo is the same actor who played Zangief in the Street Fighter film with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
No way.
Yeah.
Quick, change the channel.
Yeah. So he's built. He does a pretty good job of it.
Yeah, that's what was wrong with the previous actor.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Like, you can't take someone that's like 5'7", 160 pounds soaking wet and just pretend he's Jason Momoa, dude. Like, no.
Yeah,
he's got to be a big dude, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was wrong in saying that was the first live action iteration of Lobo. I didn't know of this fan film.
Yeah, well, I mean, does it really count as a fan film? It was never on.
It's not a
the
feature. It's not a full length. Whatever.
Well, the Krypton episode was supposed to be a backdoor pilot for a Lobo series, but it never happened.
I'm not surprised.
So, yeah,
Probably because they never got this guy.
No. They never got the Jean-Claude Van Damme Street Fighter guy.
Yeah, I feel like there'd be a certain amount of stylization that you're going to have to do for Lobo, almost like you do for Deadpool. I think someone in the comments mentioned that Lobo is like a proto Deadpool.
I want to see them do that.
Yeah.
Beatles jizz. With the one like still masculine looking arm. As I like to think that, like, when I read this, I like to think that unmatching arm is like containing the true masculine essence of who Lobo really is throughout, like preserving it,
Yeah.
They don't address it in the story, do they?
No.
What's that?
Because when he realizes he's a woman, he's just like, I'm a woman. He's never never brings up the arm.
No, yeah.
Right.
Oh god, I can't believe they went with he falls flat on his face and then boing springs back into the air.
Yeah, I can see.
Only men would write that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a time when you could be mad about being turned into a woman as well.
And like,
I don't think that would fly now.
and like, he's a little bit cheeky with the areola line, like,
right.
the edge.
Of that in the book.
It's crazy how far that they push the boundaries of a DC comic, even for back then. But it's like now this stuff would not be published. I'm surprised that they're reprinting it. Like they did recently. I mean, this probably is about 4 years ago now. They did the Lobo, Keith Giffen, Alan Grant volumes, and it has all that stuff. It's got the Pushers of Bastards and a little bit more in here. It's really big. And then they did a volume 2 as well, which has I think some of the Horley stuff in it.
That's cool, dude.
Yeah, it's got Infanticide, which is a great solely Keith Giffen stuff. But yeah, just the gore and the violence, and it's just so much fun because they put those cheeky disclaimers on it of Lobo calling the reader a dweeb, like this book isn't for dweeb,
Right.
Not for pussies.
Not for dweebs. And like, but at the same time,
reference here with Bovril.
That's what I was
in my Bovril.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, this is letting you know, I think several things simultaneously. Like, here he's telling us, first of all, like there's some commentary on England, right? Especially in this time period, because he literally time travels Lobo into 1940s during World War II, right? That's
Right.
one thing. The other thing is like, yeah, my influences are the fucking Beano, dude. Like I'm hearkening back to that shit. Like yeah, I know that this is like not for kids, but like you're still a kid in your 18-year-old body, bro. So like have fun being a kid again, right?
Right. Yeah. All the echoes of sort of the old British sort of weekly comics for kids are in there. Is the Beano still going, Buddha?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yes, yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, I follow Lou
but,
Stringer on Twitter, and he posts the front cover every once in a while. It's pretty different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Dandies folding now. I think the Beano.
That a few years ago, sure.
Yeah.
Dennis
Metal
the Menace
movies.
and Minnie the Minx like swapped over or something.
I think Dennis the Menace now is a little bit. There's certain stuff they can't do, like him getting a slipper. I think that was knocked on the head years ago.
Yeah. Oh, they don't do the slipper anymore.
Nah, like
he can't be a bully anymore as well.
They banned him at one point while I was
yeah, man. Like if you go back and read the Beanos from the 80s, like Dennis is like beating the shit out of his next door neighbor constantly. And it's because he's gay, right? Walter's gay.
Walter's
definitely gay.
Dennis was gay.
Well,
methinks me protesteth too much. Yeah.
No, Walter's definitely gay, and
dude.
Dennis is definitely beating him up because he's gay. It's crazy. But they do everything except for say it.
That's amazing, dude. Metal Movie says that Lobo is like a proto Deadpool, right?
Right.
Pokes fun at pop culture, but obviously he's a biker and a metalhead. Yeah, I see that. But at the same time, like, fucking, I don't like Deadpool. Dude. Like, I'm like seriously not even a fan.
You're not a Deadpool guy.
I'm not a Deadpool guy, dude. I
he
fucking
became
read
the
Deadpool, and I'm like,
comic,
yeah,
so
I know.
say.
I know, dude. You're in a comic book. I fucking get it. I know.
But the thing about Deadpool is he became super popular with no help from Rob Liefeld. Like it's other people that made him really popular. But then it became overdone. Everybody just loves him just to love him. But I always said, like, if DC was able to do a Lobo movie like Deadpool, it would be just as huge.
I agree.
And because I think their humor, they both break the fourth wall, right? But I think their humor is different. Like Deadpool has more of the dirty toilet humor. Lobo is more of just like that brash asshole. He's just so cool for school. He doesn't give a damn. Humor. It's still Looney Tune humor,
And they're
you need the right A-list star to come along. Like you need Lobo's Ryan Reynolds to come along, the people to go, that's perfect casting.
I've been thinking about.
I don't know who that would be.
I've been thinking about this the last couple of days, right?
Of course, yeah.
And in Lobo, in towards the end of the book, when he has the standoff with the other bounty hunter, Lou. Mm-hmm. And there's a scene where they're standing in front of each other and they're just unloading on each other for 3 pages, and then you sort of see them and they're just like a crumpled mess, and they're both.
And they've got bullets in this gun.
Right.
So cool.
There's a film called an anime film from the early noughties called Dead Leaves, and it's as close to a Japanese anime that looks like Simon Bisley's artwork that I've ever seen. Like. Everything is over exaggerated. The story moves at 1,000,000 miles an hour. And at the end, it's called Dead Leaves.
Oh yeah.
It's set in space. It's set on a space station where there's a prison, and it's set around just 2 characters that are trying to escape from this prison, and they instantly break out, and they've instantly got loads of guns. But all the character designs are just like the biz. Like there's a dude there with a cock nose. There's a guy with a TV for a head. There's all
this looks awesome.
Animals. Yeah, it's really good. But that scene where Lobo and Lou are unloading each other is verbatim in the end of that cartoon. 2 big characters like load up in front of each other, unload on each other for like a whole scene.
Well, you mean like
this
this?
is it, yeah. And at the end, they're just both heads on the floor, but they've both got these giant bullets stuck in their face.
Yeah.
So I was thinking like
that panel there is
amazing.
Yeah, it's fucking brilliant. And so I was thinking like I think I prefer an animated version.
Yeah,
I was going to do it.
And it's funny too because it shows you that Bisley is from the UK and has never fired a gun in his life because
yeah, dude.
Are full of cartridges. Like they're not just bullets; they have the casings on them still.
Yeah, but they are future bullets.
Right, and that's a good that's a good something interesting to notice because I feel the same. When I can't draw guns for shit, so but I love drawing my versions of a gun, and I would probably draw the shells like that. So I didn't even think about the fact that there were shells stuck in their head until you just said.
Yeah, Phil makes a good point. Nobody thinks about that unless you've actually got a gun.
Right.
The little black dots there, that would be the percussion cap.
It's sort of like
that's where the hammer pushes in, bang, causes a chemical reaction, and boom, and it separates.
Right.
So it could just be a flat cylinder in their face, right?
But you guys don't know that because you're on the metric system. You see, that's what it is.
But the knife play on the next page is perfect.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
We've got knife crime.
I love the word. I love the use of the word play.
Yeah, you all do be having knife play. Gotta recognize that.
Metal Movies and Brewski says, I like Deathstroke more than Deadpool. And that brings up a good point, too, where Deadpool was a direct answer and parody of Deathstroke.
Right. Haven't they even their alter ego names are sort of similar as well?
Right. So Deathstroke is Slade Wilson. Deadpool's Wade Wilson.
Right.
So it's like, good job on that.
On the subject of names, is it a coincidence that Lou is basically Lobo minus a B?
Yes.
Well, he's that, but he's also supposed to be like a toilet, and his brother is the shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
little brother that lives.
Oh, yeah.
Little
Nice.
That's
the
hilarious.
pieces.
Pieces to pieces.
Carry on, Phil. What were you saying? Sorry.
The Giffins actually come out and say that Lobo was the answer to all the over-the-top, hardcore, like Marvel characters like Wolverine and the Punisher, and so he just made them even more over the top. And because if you go back and read the previous stuff before Bisley got on the character in Justice League International, he was still like a super overpowered badass. Like one of the Green Lanterns puts him in a bubble, and he just like forces himself through the lantern bubble and just kicks everybody's ass. Even though he didn't look as imposing as he does now, that's what they were trying to make him, this kind of unstoppable bounty hunter.
He's meant to be like on a par with Superman.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Which
the heavy metal Superman.
He's just high up. Yeah.
In fact, go on.
I was just going to say, like, another thing I liked, which I thought is pretty inherently British, is some of the like, interludes within the book where there's just like write-ups of his stuff, but specifically his report card from school. Yeah. Which I don't know what American report cards look like, but they look exactly like this in England. And all the grades were exactly like mine, which is probably why I related to Lobo so early.
That felt very Watchmen, that stuff. You had to put a little sort of essay at the start of each issue.
But I think much more digestible than the Watchmen stuff.
A lot shorter. Yeah.
It's more dynamic as well because it's pulling things. It's like some of them are right up, some of them are pulling things like from the actual world.
Mm-hmm.
It's like what we were going on the other week when we were sort of discussing. I can't remember what the book was now, but there was examples of the artist framing the page in artwork.
Yeah, that was something.
Well, that's another way of sort of just building the experience of reading a book more.
But do grades go to Z in England?
No.
No. Go to E.
If you try hard enough.
Yeah, if you get an ear, you're a dunce.
But I really like the attention to detail here, because like I'm pretty sure the actual page that they used, they photocopied a couple of times just to get that like shitty feel to the paper.
Yeah.
And then they actually wrote on it by hand, right? Like that's an ink.
I liked the bad teacher's handwriting as well. I thought,
Right.
thought that was a good, because this was the hardest page to read.
Yeah, that looks like my fucking handwriting, dude.
Yeah, I really had to squint at some of it.
Yeah.
He probably had to go around his family members to see who had the most to read.
Yeah.
And then he was like, "Oh, just do this page for me real quick."
Yeah, exactly.
I can believe that was Bisley's handwriting.
No aptitude whatsoever except in foul language. That's my favorite.
His
So
best
there's
subject.
two,
His
isn't there?
best subject with an E. Biology.
Yeah.
There's one that he's done himself. He's given himself A+ all the way through.
Right. That's at the end of the following issue, I believe.
Yeah.
Did Bisley do many more of these after Portrait, Phil?
So the portrait is a collection. So that the one we were just looking at, so that is, I have this box set. So as it came out as the last Arnian.
Right.
Last Arnian. And so it's much smaller. So that's the first thing. I think after that he did, what is it? The next one that's in that collection, which is Lobo's Back.
Yeah.
And maybe in between that, he did the paramilitary Christmas special.
Okay.
And were they collaborations between him and Alan Grant?
Yeah. It was always Giffen, Alan, and Simon on those. So I want to say, he may have done some other shorts. Oh yeah, he did this one, which I think it should be up here. Grab it.
Metal Movies says Phil is Phil Lobo.
Yeah.
Keep it up with the comments, Metal Movies. I'll pick 25% of them and show.
This one, Bounty Hunting for Fun and Profit, which is a great cover by Bisley, and I think this is kind of like an instructional guide on how to be a good bounty hunter. I remember there's one like that.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm gonna have to pick them up. I think.
There you go.
Look at that.
For fun and profit, isn't that where?
That's where the skull loincloth comes from.
It pisses me off how good he is, frankly.
Yeah, so good.
Isn't that where Ed Piskor got that phrase?
Signed
for
as
fun
well.
And profit.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was used before this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stuff like that.
Well, that's still my favorite application.
What amazes me is the way that he really, for muscles, he.
Yeah, dude. Greatest
hits.
Who's that supposed to be?
So this is awesome.
Probably some editor.
This came out. I don't know if you ever seen this box set, but it comes with 3 books. One of them is that first one, The Last Zarnian. The second one is this, which is Greatest Hits, which is a collection of just a bunch of like old classic Lobo stuff before Bisley got on it. There's actually a one in here that Art Bear did. Yeah, I don't know if he did the illustrations, but he inked it. He was telling me, but this is all the old school stuff. So this is when, like Metal Movies and Brewskis was saying, he would, bleed and make a bunch of clones. So there's like young Lobo in here. And then they took that power away from him. Like every time he would bleed, he would make a second Lobo.
That's brilliant.
Yeah. There's some big Barda. So a lot of JLI stuff in here. And then the third book in here is, I don't know if you've seen this one. It's called The Wisdom of Lobo. You could only get it in this box set back in the 90s. And inside of it, it's supposed to be like what's inside Lobo's brain. And then inside of it, all the pages are blank.
Yes.
So I brought this to Bisley, And I'm like, hey, do you remember this? And it was all blank pages. And I'm like, love for you to sign the inside so that it's the only thing that's in there is your signature. And he's like, yeah, sure. So he signed it, and then he drew on every page.
Draws a nose.
Oh God! What?
Mate,
oh my God!
One of a kind. I was at the con, and he took 15 minutes or however long it took him. And all this.
By the end, he was running out of dicks to draw.
The skull's cool, though. I like the skull a lot.
Whoa.
Oh, mate, what a find.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Fantastic.
Applause.
Like, just
wow.
Phil is Phil Lobo.
Damn.
Yeah, so that's like my number one collector's item. Right there.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
You don't share that with your grandparents, though, right?
No. No.
Look, Grandma, look what I got. Oh.
But I think there's no character that had been kind of like revitalized and changed so much by a single artist than Lobo.
Right.
Just like his influences just stuck to that character.
Yeah.
Quick
And it was at the exact right time for it, right?
Yeah.
It was in the 80s. It was punk. It was different.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right. It seemed like a risk to take for a DC book, but I think that was probably one of my first introductions to DC. Actually, was that version of Lobo.
I think this has the best Bisley Lobo in it. The paramilitary.
Yeah.
Quick question.
Military
That greatest hits with the pre-Bisley Lobo. When did Lobo emerge as a character? Like, when did he have his own comic?
So the first Bisley miniseries was the first time he had his own comic, but he would appear in Justice League comics before that. And I have his first appearance. Let me grab it.
Whoa, we're not worthy. We're not worthy.
Sin Killer says, I'm not gay, but I appreciate a well-drawn.
We should give him a shout out. The Sin Killer launched today, and it's doing really well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well,
come on the show, Sin Killer.
Yes, that's what he looked like. Look at him. Yeah, come on. Sin Killer.
Oh my gosh.
So
he looks like not Daredevil.
Not Lobo.
Old man.
That's not Lobo.
Wow, shit.
Oh my God.
Wow.
It's
Lobo in his
Kiss
disco years.
Man.
Disco Lobo.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, so this is Omega Man. It was kind of like just like a space adventure book, and he was part of a team of bounty hunters. He was the best one. And this is Keith Giffen, and I forget the other guy who's the co-creator on him.
It's an interesting cover, that.
Yeah.
Where's the light coming from? Very suggestive.
So from there, they revamped and made him more of a biker in the JLI stuff, and then so his first appearance I think was '83.
Oh wow,
83. I was looking at the inside of that greatest hits, and I'm thinking, wow, that's kind of like,
Phil is a
70s, 80s DC comics that I remember from yesteryear.
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah,
sure.
Sin Killer. 5 minutes, Sin Killer is gonna comes on.
sweet,
cool.
When you cross Gene Simmons with Richard Simmons, you have a
It's true.
Look at the rabbit. The rabbit's cute.
The rabbit's great. Oh my God.
That's the Easter Bunny. You guys definitely should read.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna look for that box set.
Which comic is that, or which story is that? The one with the rabbit?
So this is a one shot. You could probably find it at like local comic shops. It's called Lobo Paramilitary Christmas Special.
Yeah, I think I read it.
It's a Christmas story where the Easter Bunny hires Lobo to kill Santa Claus.
Yes. And the Easter Bunny is like the Penguin. He's like a gangster.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a follow-on to The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah, it's really good, and the art's incredibly awesome.
That's why we keep Ari on the show, man. He'll just come out and hit a home run sometimes. Yeah, dude. Nightmare Before Christmas, dude. Absolutely. That's the same level that these stories are operating on, right? It's like supernatural. The elves, dude.
Yeah.
It's almost a bit South Parky, isn't it?
Yeah, total.
Wait, are you telling me real guns don't shoot corks?
Are they?
And then it's just a massacre, dude. He kills all these elves. Like, look at that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yes, dude. Kill the elves.
So good.
Damn.
Kind of like Dennis the
Hi ho, hi ho, it's off to work I go.
Yes.
Bang, bang, bang.
This is good.
Okay, pop quiz.
Yep.
Go on.
In
seen
that.
And when you draw
I
it,
wonder what it could be.
It's so good.
In the 80s, and I think it was in the 80s, maybe in the early 90s, in 2000 AD, Bisley drew a character like a little kid, demon kid, and I'm trying to remember what his name was. Was it Desmond or something like that? I'm pretty sure it was Bisley.
Demon kid.
I don't know.
Was it Bad Boy?
No. It was like, I'm sure it was like a Bad Boy. Let me Google that. Maybe, but I don't think
Bad
so.
Boy he did with Frank Miller.
Right.
It was kind of.
It was just like this really small kid with like he had stripy socks and stuff, but he was like a total demon child.
I don't remember that.
stripy sock.
Oh,
Isn't that
are you
Dennis
on
the
about
Menace?
the one that was in 2000 AD?
Yeah.
And he had spiky hair.
Yes.
I don't think that was the Biz.
Wasn't it?
No.
Okay, I'll get my coat.
I'm going to try and find that though. It might be there.
Great panel.
I'm sure his name was Desmond. Okay, I'm going to Google Desmond 2000 AD.
Just Google Desmond stripy socks. It'll come up.
Desmond. It might not have been Desmond, but well, I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah, that was
I like
quality.
that panel a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good.
Look at the Angry Birds.
And that's like
Yeah.
immediately after.
I'm glad you agree that the Biz created the Angry Birds.
From the
It's like
Beatles.
It's like immediately after a big windfall in the story, so he immediately blows all the money that he just made.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Ramona, I think that's her name, right? His
Did
like
he just
bail
spend
bond.
his wad?
Ramona.
There's another nip for there.
She actually, they kill her
Oh,
off.
can you see her nip?
Oh, do they?
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's
Oh,
the
yeah.
nip. Yeah.
I never noticed her nip before.
So there's a book called Lobo Death and Taxes. And here's one of the covers for Lobo Death and Taxes. They have some great covers on this book. But
See you later, metal movies.
I'll see you.
Yeah,
see
see
Matt.
you, man.
The tax company, I think, kills her. And he goes apeshit on her.
Rob,
Yo,
the kid you're thinking of, his name is Bradley.
Bradley sounds right. Yeah,
Where did Desmond come from?
I have no idea. Like 30
see
years of not
I
having
can't
seen
even
him.
see it. That's him.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
so
that-
who drew that?
I
have no
can't really
idea.
see it 'cause
Simon
of your
Harrison?
background. Sorry,
Ah,
Max.
okay. Yeah.
I
Sorry,
can see
Max.
why you
Very,
think
very
that, though.
similar style, very similar over the top style. Yeah.
Max, just take your background off for a second there so we can see your screen. When you hold your phone up, it's just blank.
I'm sharing Bradley now.
Oh, never mind. Here's Bradley.
Yeah. It's like a very. Yeah, it's totally,
Make
like
it bigger.
That's
big.
weird.
Click on one.
Make it big.
You can click on one of them.
Yeah,
Click on one. Let's click on that.
Yeah, look at that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Ugly.
That was in
Very-
2006.
Understandably, think it was Bisley's style.
Yeah, totally.
Wow, that's insane. I've never seen this guy.
British comics are weird.
Yeah, man.
They're excellent, man. They are excellent.
2000 AD had some fucking crazy shit in it.
Oh, man. Sure.
What's up, Marv? The Sin Killer's here, man.
Boa tarde, como está você?
Ei, então.
Hey, muito bem.
Crazy day today. I was surprised by all of the, between COVID that I had a couple of weeks ago and other stuff, and be tired as hell. Today was a great day. It's been a great day.
Good.
Did you launch today?
Yeah, I launched today. Yeah, on the Sketchy Saturday this morning with Mike Jimmy. I launched this one, and Mike Jimmy launched on Kickstarter. His next publication, the Radiant site.
It's still Saturday morning, so that means that this just launched.
Right. Saturday morning cartoons, isn't it? Now at night time.
Yeah.
She plays trailer.
Oh yeah.
We're the Denny's of entertainment, man. You can always have that.
It was when I did that, so it's not.
You need some kind of like heavy metal.
Yeah.
Just in the background, you know that, right?
Yeah. Just sample that.
Clip it.
Marv, were those three angels? Yeah. Gabriel and Michael and who?
No, John is the priest. Gabriel is the raven, the dead raven, and Michael is the dog. Those are the Sin Killer. Is an entity.
He named his pets after angels.
Yes, okay. And there will be a new character that is in the trailer, the one with the crows on top. The crows are just temporary because she's gonna have her own. She's gonna choose her weapons. It's not gonna be Gabriel because. Thank you. Procreate is great to draw, but when it comes to lettering, I had to do the sound effects by hand because it got nothing there for just the usual fonts. But I did the best I could because this is the second comic, and as you can see, I'm not still very comfortable with the lettering.
Honestly, I think the lettering
I try to
looks fine from what I can see.
Yeah. How about
I tried to
in Procreate and then
mix
the lettering in Clip Studio?
What's that, Rob?
Yeah, but I'm just now. Everything was done on Procreate, but but people already told me. Several people told me about Clip Studio for lettering. They are good, but then I have to transfer files and all that stuff, and it's not. Well, I'm almost 50 years old, but when it comes to tech, I just don't know anything about. I do my stuff on the tablet because it's drawing. I draw basically like digitally, like I do traditionally. So, but if I had to do something on, let's say, what's the other program? Oh shit, Photoshop. Just looking at the tools. Just looking at the tools, I just got. I tried Photoshop once with the computer of a friend of mine, but too many tools over there. I like to take this and then draw. I'm still old school. I'm a traditional, like I used to say, I'm a traditional digital artist.
Yeah, well, so is Max. Yeah.
But I'm sure that if you wanted to hit any one of us up that uses Clip Studio, we could take you through it, no problem. Clip Studio is not brilliant for text, but it's okay.
Yeah,
but I don't know what Procreate's like. Arrgh.
And well, yeah, when it comes to transfer files and change files and do stuff with files, man, I'd rather pick up a hammer and just hit a rock.
Sin Killer 2 launched. Backer number 10 for Sin Killer number 2.
Ka-ching!
Backer number 10.
Thank you. Wow.
That probably means.
Thank you so much.
Which is cool.
Go on, refresh that page. Refresh. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a disappointment, but okay.
What happened?
No,
Because it still says 8 backers now.
Yeah. I think all that means.
Oh
you
shit!
could be back at number 10, but maybe two other people have backed the book twice, so they count as the same backer, maybe.
We're playing.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
No General Biggie.
Yeah, I had.
In any case,
82%.
82%.
Wow,
Yay.
nice.
All right, refresh it. Refresh it one more time. Refresh it one more time.
Nice.
Yeah, sometimes it
Thank you
takes
so much.
a while.
One more time. 8 backers.
Just one more time.
The 8 looks bigger though.
It looks bigger.
If I
All right,
zoom
we'll
in,
come
there you go.
come back to that later.
Much
Hell
bigger
yeah, dude.
8.
So
Font was thicker.
definitely back the Sin Killers on the Indiegogo. Absolutely. You can also back Rokon on the Indiegogo. We just shared a page on the we'll do it on the Instagrams in a second, but on the Twitters we just shared the latest page. So fuckers, we're making the book. Yeah, we're fucking making it. So fucking calm down.
Great.
And Arya's on Indiegogo.
It's any consolation. Ben's been bollocking me every day. So
with the Arya, like Max and I, we just take care of each other too much. Like we're like this is why like I don't know, dude. What was I gonna say? I kind of lost my train of thought there for a second, but like we're easy on each other. You know what I mean?
Right.
We're a little bit lenient on each other. So
I can imagine the correspondence between these two guys. Are you drinking enough fluids? Are you sitting comfortably?
Talk about the book. And
well,
then,
mate, you're not that far off. You're not that far off the mark, Rob. Like we're friends and we care about each other. You know.
Make sure you're not sitting in a draft.
Yeah, I'm always trying to add stuff as well to Ben's work.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He adds.
Are your hemorrhoids playing up?
I can't wait for that book, guys.
It's coming. It's definitely
coming.
We just want it to be the best it can be, right?
It's coming. It's coming. No, well, all the things that were in the way are not in the way anymore, and we're fucking in the home fucking push now. This is it.
Good.
Yeah.
Good to hear.
Those pages you uploaded on Twitter earlier look sick.
Yeah, dude.
I appreciate you
check
saying
it
that,
out.
Aria. Every time I finish a page, right, I think it's shit.
No.
I have a real bad relationship with my own finished artwork. Like I complete it and think, that's crap. That
I think there's a lot of people like that.
Sorry.
No, I think a lot of artists are like that, and
that's the imposter syndrome, isn't it?
Right.
For sure. Yeah, my buddy Shelby Robertson, he's just like he's been. He worked at Extreme Studios when he was like 17, doing backgrounds for profit under Steve Platt. But he's doing crowdfunding now. He's got his book, and he talks to a lot of guys that are just starting, putting their comics out, and they'll do that. They'll redo a page, and he's like, "Dude, you just gotta move on to the next one." He always says it's just comics, Get this out so you can get the next one out. so you can get the next one out and build that fan base.
I suppose when you, I don't know, it's if you're particularly enthusiastic about, like, when you're very passionate about art, you're quite sensitive about pushing your stuff out there. Do you know what I mean? It's a weird one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was nice. It's always nice to hear that people like the artwork. So
yeah,
cheers.
Yeah, it's looking great, Matt. So I'm sitting down with Mark, as in call me Mark, tomorrow to hash out the final script for the Taylor's Not Daredevil crossover. So that's gonna be cool.
Oh shit, that's gonna be
Hell
awesome.
yeah, dude.
Oh, brilliant!
I didn't know that was happening.
Yeah. So we did this crossover. Started out as 4 pages, but since this campaign did really well, we unlocked another 4 pages, so it doubled in size. And that story is going to go in. He did an Ashcan on his campaign, so it's going to be in there, and it's also going to be in the Taylor's Collected Edition on my campaign. Fantastic. So yeah, it's coming together. And like I've probably told you this before, but I'm currently putting the PDF together right now of for the book to go to print. And when I was pitching the book, I was saying this is going to be about 80 pages. It's already over 100. So yeah, there's still loads more to go. So I really misjudged the amount of pages that was going to be in this book. So you're going to get a nice brick of a book to read through for sure.
Fantastic. Great work, mate, really.
Yeah. So if you want to see Taylor's Not Daredevil take on a bunch of evil gay space Nazis, then
Taylor's I always really liked the combination of thick lines and thin lines.
Yeah, why don't you tell us more about that?
That happens to be my favorite little detail about Taylor's art.
Sometimes
without the combination of thin lines and thick lines, it'd be rubbish.
Oh, that's so fun. Look at that. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it?
But yeah, look, you can draw with thick lines or thin lines, and it's amazing. You can use both.
What about medium lines?
Don't use medium lines. Never use medium lines.
Medium lines? Are you insane?
Thick and thin give the impression of medium.
Yeah, just put them together. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, never half measure.
I'm sure there's a sex joke somewhere in this conversation. Skirting around it.
It's not all about width and girth.
Phil, what are you promoting right now? CG Vacation, right?
That's right. Yeah, we got CG Vacation. Let me speaking of
pop that shit up.
Speaking of Not Daredevil, check this out. I don't know if you guys have seen this. So this is a Not Daredevil appearance in CG Vacation. Share this.
Hell yeah, dude. He's got a Not Daredevil Speedo, bro.
Yeah, look at him.
Hell yes.
He's got his Golden Gate time.
Hell yes.
The very popular Australian ice cream, which of course Daredevil's from Australia. And then you got his babe here.
That ought to be enough of a deal breaker to deal closer to push you over the line and go ahead and back this comic right now.
I hope so. Yeah,
I would do if I were watching.
Yeah, if you guys haven't, we let me see. I think we only have to our first 30 days where we have 10 days left. Damn, 10 days left of this. So check this out. You guys could see that. Yeah. So CG Vacation, this is the top characters that we could grab, trying to get as many as possible that have already put their book out and people know.
Fuck, man, we just missed it, dude. We have a character that would be perfect for this.
Yeah, so this is the perfect thing too. We want to do, if this is crazy successful, we want to do more of these. Like if this is something that the backers really enjoy, because this is oversized hardcover, basically a pinup book with narration boxes that kind of explain the characters in a fun way. So we want to do future ones. This is like the swimsuit special. There's always room to do like a winter one. I think would be cool. Maybe a Halloween one with all these characters.
The nipples will stand out more.
That's exactly. You gotta get those glass cutters. So we have this guy down here. His name's Mr. CG. He's basically like our fourth wall breaking tour guide who's going to take you through the book. The own cover that's coming. So you can see we got Pit, Cyberfrog, got the chick from Monster MD, some Magic Cop characters on the cover, Lilith from Graveyard Shift. So that's going to be a crazy cover. And a slew of amazing characters and pinups from different creators. The Perfect 10 one's so good. Just awesome project. I can't believe we're able to work on this stuff. Bancroft did his character from the Lucent. You can see there.
She's on holiday.
Yeah, the one from Monster MD, the Invisible Woman.
Mm-hmm.
Hilarious. This is just gonna be super fun. Definitely actually Ethan said this is like your Saturday morning cartoons. You just whip it out just to have fun.
Right.
There's a description that can be used on many levels.
That's what whipping it out and having fun is what I do every Saturday morning.
That's right. So yeah, there's
is that when the missus goes shopping?
Yeah.
Sean did this beautiful traditionally painted piece, which is just incredible. So
Nice, brilliant.
And we got a beach towel too, with some awesome beach scene by 6 a.m. Comics on here, and then a calendar for next year. So if you guys are into that, definitely grab those. Trying to make it, as successful as possible so we can unlock some more trading cards, and we really want to upgrade the book to have a dust jacket. So I think that would be a really cool thing for everybody. So yeah, definitely.
Nice. Brilliant stuff.
Wow. Yeah, dude.
Great. It's gonna be super fun.
Yeah, man.
Super professional as well. Looks really good.
Yeah, let me show you. I know you guys are gonna love this.
Who's the artist of this one? This is beautiful.
This is Pablo Romero. So he's done some covers for us in the past, but he does this great retro style. Even kind of adds that overlay to the paper or to the image to make it look
browning of the top of the page.
Yeah,
nice.
So good. And I haven't shown this
That's
off.
why I suck in colors, because I can't do that. I just work with black and white and grays because colors for me are just a mystery, Oh, beautiful.
Sure.
Yeah, really good.
Beautiful.
Yeah, but the black and gray though really works with your book though, Marv. Especially because of the way that you the way that you lettered it. That really works for that.
And it's a horror comic as well, isn't it?
It doesn't feel like it's missing anything, not at all.
Right, yeah, it is a horror comic.
Okay, thank you.
For sure.
So like horror, like it's kind of a throwback to those horror movies of the 30s. And
no, it's perfect. I wouldn't change it actually.
Yeah, this is another piece by Dan Lawless, who's incredible. He actually started at he was on a book called Barbed Wire. You remember that Pamela Anderson movie?
Yeah.
So he was, I think, the first artist on that Barbed Wire book at Dark Horse.
Wow.
Yeah.
But he's killing it. If you guys aren't familiar, this is actually one of my characters. His name's Vane, and he is kind of my version of Lobo. He's a bounty hunter, but from hell. He's a demon bounty hunter.
Okay, well, that answers the question. How would you do Lobo? He'd be a demon, dude.
Yeah. I guess so. So he has another form. He's got his demon form. So he's kind of a mix of Lobo and Etrigan, the demon.
That's a fucking great idea.
And those are two of my favorites, and they interact a lot too in the comics. Their series.
But I got a question. If he's a demon, why has he got a job?
Does he speak in only rhymes?
No. That's a different thing for mine. No, this guy's a badass, like basically drag car racer that's from hell, and they call him the Earthwalker, and he has a human form. He's got his demon form, but he works for Satan. When demons escape hell and go to Earth, he sends Vane after them to drag them back to hell.
You see, that makes a whole lot of sense because I'm thinking if he doesn't need the money, then he works pro bono, and pro bono kind of negates what he's doing, right?
He works pro bono, maybe.
Earth too. So he'll go to Earth and just bang humans, you know?
Hell yeah.
Oh, that is pro bono.
That's pro boner work.
That's right. Huge team again. So I want to do a lot with this character. When I saw Dan's work, he just does these just super masculine jaw lines.
Hell yeah.
And it reminds me of some of Bisley's stuff. And I'm like, I got to get him to do a Vane piece.
Dude, that jaw.
Yeah.
Could we have a close up on one Mr. Arya Blackness?
Close up on Arya Blackness.
Dude, that is Arya's chin.
There he is.
Come on, whip it out.
Did you notice that nobody makes a comic about heaven? Everybody goes to hell.
Hell's more interesting.
Hell is cool.
Arya, you look. Has anyone ever told you you look a little bit like the bad guy from The Crow?
Oh yeah.
Marv's right though. Nobody ever does.
No one's ever said that.
Like nobody ever does Heavenscapes, right? Like we all know what Hellscapes are, right? Because we've seen them a dozen times. How many times have you seen a Heavenscape, bro?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Preacher.
Dante's Inferno. Actually, the famous
like there's a
poem.
couple of examples, right? Like there's one in Sandman, for example. Sorry, what were you saying, Max?
You know the Dante's Inferno poem, the seven. Is it the 9 circles of hell?
Yeah.
7, isn't it?
The Divine Comedy.
7?
Yeah.
The Divine Comedy. Well, everybody when people talk about that poem, they always talk about the hell part, but there's 2 other parts to it. There's purgatory and heaven, and they've all got their segments as well that he travels through. But no one gives a shit about that. Everyone wants to do hell. Yeah, he looks cool.
Like, it's kind of cool because, like in Portrait of a Bastich, we had a pretty decent Heavenscape, right? Where he's like fighting with all the gods, and they're like, "Dude, fuck this guy!" Like, you know,
we can't be killed. No,
he's
but
like,
you could be made indistinguishable from mush.
Yeah, he's like grabbing Poseidon by the mustachios and punching him in the face, bro.
That's definitely your version of Lobo, then, Phil. We cracked the code.
Yeah, for
sure.
sure.
It's brilliant, really, really good.
That's him, right?
I want to do
Vane?
one now.
Yeah, Vane.
Okay, so that's what you would do if you could do whatever you wanted with Lobo. What would I do if I could write Lobo? I would do a fucking Lobo multiverse where I'd have I'd rip off Vane. I fucking would, Phil, sue me. I don't know. And then I'd have all the different versions of Lobo as characters in the multiverse of Lobos, right? And a spoof on those cartoons and shit that are coming out about Spider-Man right now.
Yeah. So you could have a big glam rock Lobo.
Exactly. There'd be gay Grogos. There'd be a lot of. There'd be a bunch of female ones, right? Like a whole ton of different female ones, right?
Yeah. All
the different fetishes of girls or whatever is a different Lobo. Anyways, what were you saying about this?
No, so we did his first story was a 4-page short that Sim drew for us. So this is the cover image. I think the logo's fucking awesome.
Yeah, that is cool.
Great logo. So this is the first page. So you get this Satan, and there's this demon fucking another demon.
What are you going to print?
This was already printed. We put this out a year and a half ago.
What are you going to print it?
Yeah, I actually have the book. Let me see.
The blue guy looks like the genie from Aladdin, right?
Oh yeah.
So it was printed in this book. This is a book of our short stories that basically they're little vignettes of all of our characters from the Lost Pages, called Myths of the Lost Pages.
Get that up, Ben.
Kick-ass.
Make him big.
By Joe Ball.
Oh yeah, hold on one sec. I got you.
Put it big.
Hold it up.
I was
make it big.
Notes. How
Blow
dare
it up.
you?
You got this, Ben.
Big package.
You got it.
Oh wow!
Hell yeah, dude.
Snowball's great, man.
Yeah, he killed it on this.
I think I have that, dude.
Probably. Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's got veins in there and a bunch of other characters. So this was actually an add-on, and the higher we got with the stretch goals, we added more stories to it.
Yeah.
So it was pretty fun. But yeah, veins are badass. Hopefully we can do more with them soon in the future.
Yeah, I think that's an amazing character.
Really fun. Here's his demon form.
Yeah.
Super fun. Giant ass gun.
Yeah, that's nice.
Where are you from, Phil?
Chicago, right in the center of the U.S.
Oh yeah.
Wicked.
Yeah, dude. There's such a Zayd Comics feel to these pages, man.
Thanks, man. Yeah, so he's got this giant gun that's too big to carry around, so he opens up like a hell portal and pulls it out of hell.
Brilliant.
Dude, that's the same thing that Rokon does.
Does he?
Yeah, he does.
Well,
because
my book
he can
came out
like
first, so.
he can like transport things through dimensions, so he just keeps his weapons in other dimensions.
It'd be mad if he pulled the giant gun out though, eh, Ben?
Well, he doesn't have a giant gun, but
So that's Satan giving him a contract.
Excellent.
So yeah, we'll get back to him eventually. He's just
Very cool panels.
The cool thing too with what we're doing is it's all one universe, so we could cross them over. So I have a different character that Vane might appear in his story, to help with some demon shit,
Yeah, because there was like demonic like voodoo shit in Magic Cop, right? So you could just
yeah.
They could just cross over anytime.
Yeah, eventually that'd be cool. But yeah, sorry about the tangent on Bane.
Oh, dude, you're
no. That's what
that's actually on topic. I mean, it's a Lobo ripoff. That's part of it. That's actually on topic.
Right.
I think this might be a show where we stayed on topic the most.
Good. Oddly enough,
it's a cool topic, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lobo's great.
Yeah, Lobo is great. And that's the end of the show.
As we've just seen, drugs make your problems go away. So make it the best day possible. Remember, it's drugs that counts. Take one and take a chance.
Saturday morning cartoons, mostly conjecture based on little knowledge.